Hey, and welcome to Star Wars 101. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Sith armor known as Orbalisks. If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more Star Wars videos every week. Now let's dive in. Orbalisk was a Nikto word, suggesting that the creatures might have originated on the planet Kintan. However, they are probably most popularly known as being from the moon Duxon. These sentient parasitic creatures varied in shades of brown and had a hard, durable exterior. They lived in groups inside dark places such as caves. The Orbalisks mostly stayed inactive until a suitable host came across them. In order to feed, they would attach themselves to the creature, causing it intense pain as their thousands of tiny, sharp teeth dug into the host's flesh. Orbalisks would also multiply and grow over the host's entire body, eventually suffocating their victim. In the book Darth Bane, Rule of Two, the only remaining Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Bane, travels to the moon Duxon on his own after his apprentice Zana discovered a map leading to the hidden tomb of Frida Nad. Although he was rewarded with finding Nad's holocron inside a secret chamber within the tomb, he was also attacked by a nest of Orbalisks that had been living inside the room. By the time Bane escaped and sealed the door, a few of the creatures had already latched onto him. Later, from Nad's holocron, Bane learned about the Orbalisks. He also found that the holocron provided blueprints for a special mask, pair of boots, and gloves to keep the parasites from growing over those areas as he sleeps. Over the course of the book, we find that the Orbalisks offer a great amount of benefits, but have many drawbacks. In this video, we are going to go over both the benefits and the drawbacks so that we might be able to determine whether these creatures are worth living with in the case of a Sith Lord. Perhaps because they lived on Duxon, which radiated dark side energy, the Orbalisks could feed off the dark side of the Force. This was one of the biggest reasons Darth Bane survived living over 10 years with them. He would allow them to feed off of some of his dark energy, and in return they would provide him with a constant massive surge of adrenaline and other enzymes into his bloodstream, increasing his already considerable physical strength and enabling him to draw more powerfully on the dark side. As described by the Sith Lord, the Orbalisks provided a constant dull pain as long as they were attached. This may seem like a drawback when you first hear it, but for a Darksider who draws most of his strength from anger and pain, it not only gave him greater strength in the Force, but it also made drawing on the dark side much easier as well. Not only did they enhance his Force abilities and physical strength, they also made him almost invincible. Their hard outer shells were impervious to blasters and lightsabers. This allowed Darth Bane to utilize an even more vicious and aggressive version of the Djemso variant of the 5th lightsaber form. However, even if a lightsaber was able to slice into his exposed wrists or ankles, the wound would heal almost just as fast as it was made. This is because the Orbalisks also release a stream of extremely effective healing chemicals that provide aid to virtually any injuries. There are many good examples of these incredible benefits that can be read in the Rule of Two book, but I'll list a few of them for you. First, while riding one of the massive flying beasts on the planet Onderon and engaged in combat with 3 other beast riders, Bane was able to ignore the blaster fire that seemingly bounced off of his body, allowing him to concentrate more on controlling the mount with the Force. Second, when locked in combat and spiraling towards the surface with the last of the beast riders, Bane, along with the 3 other humans and the 2 massive beasts, slammed into the ground hard enough to form a small crater. The result was a huge amount of splattered blood and pulverized flesh. However, Darth Bane survived with the help of his dark side abilities amplified through the Orbalisks, as well as their healing abilities. Lastly, they made him so much of an unstoppable force of nature that the Jedi General of the Army of Light, the Chani Jedi Weapons Master, the Weapons Master's also extremely skilled former apprentice, and the former Padawan of the founder of the Army of Light, all couldn't defeat him, even while their abilities were being enhanced by another Jedi Master's battle meditation. Despite the weakness of the armor itself, having to leave the head, hands, and feet unprotected, and the moments of incredible pain that might immobilize the host for a short while, there aren't many very obvious drawbacks if you have the willpower to control the parasites. However, living armor that envelops almost your entire body very clearly lacks subtlety. For 10 years, Bane had to have his apprentice execute public missions for him because he could not allow himself to be seen with the Orbalisks. Bane also couldn't concentrate all his power at once on one particular thing for extended periods of time, lest the Orbalisks starve. If they start to starve, the Orbalisks will agitate him to the point where he must exert his rage in devastating ways, so that they may gorge themselves on his power. In one instance, this happened while he was trying to create a holocron, and he released a massive force storm which destroyed the Sith's entire camp. Also, the savage bloodlust they incited within him at one point almost set the Sith's grand plan back 10 years. His apprentice, Xana, had lured potential rivals back to their camp for Bane to kill them. With anger and bloodlust clouding his mind, he couldn't see Xana's intelligent machinations, and he thought she had betrayed him. This led to him almost killing her. However, she was able to make him see reason before he committed the act. Although he defeated the shadow assassins she lured to the camp, Xana noticed that the Orbalisks couldn't fully defend against the electroshock their force pikes emitted. Granted, each one was turned up to max level, or enough to kill a bantha. The shock wasn't powerful enough to kill one of the Orbalisks, but if even one was to die while attached to the host, it would release a toxin that would kill the person. With that said, while finishing off one of the 5 Jedi him and his apprentice were fighting at one point in time, he released an extremely powerful blast of Force lightning. However, one of the Jedi he thought was dead took hold of his ankle and created a force shield around both of them, trapping the lightning inside to cook Bane and kill several of the Orbalisks at once. The extreme pain almost killed Bane and he went completely unconscious. Xana saved him though by manipulating her healer cousin and a powerful healer named Khalib into saving Bane by removing the Orbalisks and administering medical treatment for his wounds. Removing the Orbalisks was thought to be impossible for a very long time, but a process was discovered where an electric jolt strong enough to shock the Orbalisks could be delivered so that they would weaken their adhesive grip to the host's flesh and be removed. After, they would also be killed with electricity. Personally, I'm very divided on Orbalisks. In the case of a Sith Lord, their benefits are undeniable. However, not being able to travel in public when needed, the constant need to exert power in a rage that clouds your judgment, and the potential risk of dying if just one is somehow killed must be weighed carefully. I believe it also comes down to what time period the Sith is living in. He or she could not only have Jedi enemies, but Sith rivals as well that might recognize Force lightning as a grave danger to the Orbalisks, and decide to try to kill the host through that method. But those are my thoughts on Orbalisks. If you have anything I might have left out or didn't factor into the video that would be important to deciding whether or not they would be a good idea for Sith to use, then make sure to let me know in the comments section. Other than that, just let me know what your thoughts are on Orbalisks in general, and with all that said, have a great day.